If you want to add some flares to your average looking images and turn them into piece of arts, then in today's video, I'll show you how I use Adobe Photoshop's generative AI and Boris FX Optics to make the photographs that I take look absolutely perfect to my taste. I recently did a video and photo shoot with my lovely model Shumi and captured this image of her with my Sony ZV-E10 along with the Viltrox 23mm f1.4 lens. I'm working on a lot of amazing new videos where I'll share more details about this shoot, so definitely stay tuned and subscribe to my channel to get notified whenever I upload those videos. So now let me show you my entire photo editing process. So firstly, I open my raw images in Adobe Camera Raw and do some basic adjustments. Here I just tweaked the exposure and contrast a bit, denoised the image, did some minor HSL correction, lens correction, and removed the chromatic aberrations. Then I opened the image as a smart object in Adobe Photoshop and did the usual skin retouching. The first step is to remove all the blemishes and the other imperfections with the healing brush tools. Next, I used frequency separation to do the skin smoothing. With this technique, the skin looks smooth and flawless but in a realistic way. After doing the frequency separation, I have done some minor adjustments. Now let me quickly show you all the adjustments that I have done. So first of all, I thought the face is a little dark and the brightness can be increased. So I've taken a curves adjustment and brightened up the face. You can see I've just boosted the midtones a bit and I have created a mask to limit the effect within the face. You can see the mask here. Then I have created a stamp visible layer by pressing Ctrl Alt Shift and E on the keyboard, and that has created this new layer, and then I right clicked on that layer and turned into a smart object. Then with the help of the liquify tool, I have tried to tone down her figure a bit. Then I just copied the same face brightening layer again to brighten up her face even more. Then on this layer, I have taken a red color to enhance her lips. You can see the lips have become redder. Then I have added nail polish to her fingernails and also enhanced the nail polish over here with these two layers. Then with another curves layer, I have increased the brightness of her eyes a bit, and then I have created two catch lights in this layer. Then I have just created a quick dodge layer, and then over the skin I have added a bit of skin color to give her skin a bit of life. As you can see, the photo is backlit, most of her skin is in the shadow, and with this layer it helps the skin to look more alive. Then with an HSL adjustment layer and with the help of a mask, I have just selected the dress and changed the color of the dress to a much more deeper red, and that's all I have done here. So you can see the before, and with all these beauty adjustments you can see this is the after. Then I have cropped the image in Instagram portrait aspect ratio, that is 4:5, and exported the image. Once I'm happy with the overall result, then I try to observe the image as a whole and point out all the areas that can be improved. Now let's bring in the exported image onto a new composition. Just press Ctrl and J to duplicate this image. We want our original backup of the image just for safety purpose. So now let's see what can we do. So first of all, at a glance, I know that I don't want this portion, and I also want to remove the bust from this image. I would like to try to add some elements over here and in this right section as well. And we would also try to change the background and see what kind of results we get, just for fun. Now I don't want the edit to look like a photo manipulation. I just want to enhance the production value and aesthetics of the portrait in a realistic way. Now here comes the magical part, that is Photoshop's brand new AI tool, Generative Fill. Now I use Generative Fill for mainly two purposes. One is to remove all the distractions, and secondly to create new elements which may elevate the overall composition. And you can see, as we have used liquify tool to shape her figure, you can see these lines have also been affected, and these are the clear giveaway that liquify tool has been used to make her look a bit slimmer. So we have to fix that as well. So first of all, let's try to create a clean plate, and to do that I will select this lasso tool and quickly create a selection around her. Make sure to include the shadows as well. If you can't see this bar, then go to window and make sure that your contextual taskbar is turned on. So now let's click on Generative Fill, and if you keep this text box empty, it will try to remove the object that you have selected, and that's exactly what we want. So let's click on Generate. It will take some time, and you will also need internet connection for this to work. So this has given me 3 results. I can use whatever I like. So I think the first one is the best one. So let's use this one. This has given me a really amazing result. So now again, by pressing Ctrl Alt Shift and E, it will create a new stamp visible layer. So this is my background. Now I also want to remove this bus as well. So let's try to select this bus and a little bit of this section as well, and just click on Generate. Keep this text box blank and click on Generate. So I think this looks pretty good. So what we can do is we can also blur the background even more. So we can keep it here. Let's also try to remove this portion as well. This one looks pretty good. Now I want to add a brick border between this. So let's see, brick border between the road and the green field. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, you can see it's taking the light direction into account. So that is the best part about generative fill. So now let's see if we can do something on this side. Maybe fountain. You can see all the elements that are being generated by the generative fill. While generating those elements, Photoshop's AI is trying to keep the light direction into account and also the depth of the image. Okay, so it has added a fountain here. Wow, it's looking dope. So after a lot of trial and error, this is looking pretty good to my eyes. So now let's select all these layers and press Ctrl E to merge them into one. Let's rename it to background. Select the working image and press Ctrl J to duplicate it once again, and we will rename it to subject. I'll bring this layer on top of the background layer. Now all I have to do is mask the subject out on top of the background. And to quickly do that, I can select the subject layer and select any of these tools. Let's try quick selection tool and click on this drop down menu and then select cloud to get a better result, and then simply click on this select subject button, and Adobe's AI will try to select the subject in as much detail as possible. So you can see Photoshop has created a selection for you. You just have to create a layer mask, and to create the layer mask, just click on this button and it has added the layer mask. As all these elements are created by the generative fill, you don't have to match any lights. All you have to do is click on this mask layer, and with a soft round brush and white as the foreground color selected, you can just paint here to bring back the original shadows. So now you can see the composite. So this was the original image and this is the composite. I think with the help of the remove tool, we can remove this portion that is a bit distracting, and we can also remove these highlights. Now it's looking pretty good. And what we can do is we can turn the background layer into a smart object. Let's rename it to background, and let's go to filter and then blur gallery, and let's take this filled blur effect. So we can keep it around 10 and let's click on OK. And on the smart filter, let's select this portion with the marquee tool and feather it to around 100 pixels and fill it with black. So the front portion is not blurred and the background is being blurred gradually. So this was without any blur, and this is the result with the blur. Let's see the edges. The edges are also looking pretty good, so we can keep it here. So to add some foreground elements, we can select this section and let's try to create flowers and bushes, and let's see what Photoshop comes up with. This is looking pretty good, or this one. Maybe this one is looking better. Let's try adding a metal fence over here. Once you are happy, you can create another stamp visible layer and call it Boris FX and convert it to a smart object. Now let's open this image in Boris FX Optics, and let me show you how easily you can take this image to the next level. So click on this smart object and go to filter and then Boris FX Optics. This will open up the image in Boris FX Optics. This is the UI of Boris FX Optics. You can see it has imported the image. From here, you can click on 100% and click your middle mouse button to drag the image. Right now the quality is set at 2K. You can select full to see the image in full quality. So let's click on this fit window to fit the image on the screen. Here you can see there are a lot of filters that you can use directly on the image, and you can get amazing results really quickly. So this is the current layer of filter. You can add more than one filters over a single image. Suppose if I go to this film lab and select this film effect, then this gives you this amazing result instantly. There are a lot of presets inside each filters that you can use, and each filter has their individual properties that you can change. So this film effect filter is based on the Kodak 2383 film print emulation. But what I like most about Optics is in its lens distort section and in the light section. So here you can see there are a lot of filters here. Suppose if I want to add a prism effect, then see how easily I can use this prism effect. There are a lot of effects that you can use creatively, and from here you can change the settings. Now I want to add some orbs onto this image, and you can see here are some presets that you can choose from. Suppose I like this dreamy effect, then all I have to do is select this preset, and then I can change the individual parameters to fit it perfectly to my image. So these are not like some overlays that you download from Google or some other websites. In those overlays, those are JPG files and you can't change them according to your images. But here you can easily change these settings and make all the overlays your own. You can even change the light source. I will keep the light source here. So this will interact more with the environment. I can make them more colorful. I can change the coherence. I can change the flicker amount. I can change the random seed, but I think the default setting is much better. So I will keep the count a bit low. I will keep the fall off at the default. I can even change the depth blur. I can also randomize the depth I will decrease the intensity. I just want a subtle effect. I can change the light source to make it integrate with the environment in a much more realistic way. I can scale the orbs. I can add some color randomness. I can adjust the coherence to position my orbs wherever I like. I can also enable the prism effect. It will add some prism effect, or I can add another layer and then I can add the prism effect from here. So this is the prism effect, but I just want to add the prism effect in the outside edges of the image. So to do that, I can add a layer mask. Here are some layer mask options. So I will take this spot layer mask and this has been added to the prism effect. Now the prism effect is being applied inside the layer mask. I want to invert the layer mask. So to invert the mask, you can click on this icon and the mask will be inverted. You can easily manipulate the size of the mask and the fall off as well. So this is looking pretty good. You can also add another layer and add a rainbow to your image. So you see this is looking amazing. You can also add another layer and you see there are lots and lots of effects and presets that you can use. And the best part about this filters are all the presets are absolutely adjustable. You can manipulate them as per your needs and your image. Then if you want, you can render this type of particles. There are lots of muzzle flashes that you can use. There are pre-made presets that you can use directly. There are laser beams that you can use. And in this particle illusion section, you can create amazing looking overlays and you can also manipulate them as per your needs. You can change the position. Another amazing feature is this easy mask. So if you select this PI background layer and if you want to put this effect behind the subject, then you can do that directly on this window. You have to go to this mask section and select this easy mask option. With this, you can just drag on top of your subject and as the name suggests, it will create the mask for you. I want to select this subject, so that's why I have drawn with green, and if I press the control button on my keyboard and by clicking and dragging, I can change the size of the mask, and then with right click I can select the portion that I don't want to be included in the mask. Once you think you are satisfied, just click on this cogwheel and it will create the mask. To see the mask, you can click on this button. Now if you think you want to remove this portion, you can deselect this portion and then click on this button once again and it will update the mask. And of course we want to invert it, so click on this button and it will invert the mask. So now this effect has been placed behind the subject and the mask is created so easily. Now if you want to disable this sparkles color filter, you can click on this button and it will disable the sparkles color filter. So once you are happy, just click on apply and you can see the image has been updated. You can see the mask and the quality of the effects. This is looking pretty amazing. So you see that if you are a photo manipulation artist, a VFX artist, or you simply edit photos for yourself or for clients and you want to do this kind of edits, then Boris FX Optics can be a lifesaver for you. So if you want to learn more about Boris FX Optics, then definitely check out the link in the video description below. So I played with the generative fill a bit more, and on top of everything with some minor adjustments, this is the final result that I have got. So that was it for today guys. I'll see you in the next video.